awkward, odd, strange, bizarre, authentic, novel. Those are things that grab people's attention. I want to ask you this. What do you think is more elusive right now? Grabbing someone's attention or generosity? I mean, holding attention, grabbing it and holding it is a prerequisite for getting a donation. So we do know that. But I would argue that getting attention is far more elusive a thing than getting the gift. Because why do people bounce? They don't complete the donation process because their attention has been taken elsewhere. How many attention leaks do you have in your existing communications, in your annual plan, in your engagements with people? It's worth asking. So, for example, your donation form. Are you asking for a Mr., a Mrs., a Miss, like a title designation? Are you giving them a bazillion different options for where they can designate their gifts? So you've got all your programs listed. Don't do that. Are you asking for a telephone number, making it a prerequisite to complete the donation process? Don't do that. I would put an asterisk above so it looks like a mandatory form field to fill out, but let's say they don't fill it out, then they should be able to keep going. You don't want to have anything get in the way of someone giving you a gift because they want to be generous. Attention leaks. Okay, what about the attention leaks then in your direct mail fundraising? Do you have a wall of text with teeny itty bitty words? I mean, you're not even going to get attention to begin with. That's not even an attention leak. That's just not getting attention. What about your, let's see, your emails? Are your subject lines like, help us help, blank beneficiaries? Like, that's not interesting at all. And you write, remember, you need to make sure the outer envelope of your emails, which would be the sender, the pre-header, the subject line, you need to make sure that that is crafted specifically for grabbing attention, holding it, and getting them to click through. Now your copy can deliver on the value. Here's something I really want to talk to you about today. What about the trinkets you send to your major donors? They don't want your trinkets, but even more than that, it's going right in the trash. It's just noise to them. They want to know if their gift had an impact. That is your job, is to report on the impact of their gift. It's not to send them a trinket. And so when it comes to attention leaks and trinkets and gifts, hats, scarves, gear, it's an attention desert. You're not even getting attention to begin with. I've said this to you before. Attention span of a human right now is less than that of a goldfish. On a good day, you're getting 8 seconds at best. And that's when there's not other bazillion competing messages. So again, the goal here is to think about your appeals, your cultivation, your reporting, your thanking. Every single thing you do, you need to think about, how do I grab attention and hold it? Part of the holding it is delivering on value, but I would argue right now we are saturated with offers that we are interested in. I haven't deleted emails in one of my email inboxes in a month and I'm already at 8K. I care about, like, the stuff I signed up for, I care about. It's like stuff I shop to or whatever, but it's too much noise, there's too much value. What I do open is this. Different, out of place, novel, odd, or even awkward is very helpful for grabbing attention and then even holding it. So Stephen Screen, in one of his, he did it like 2 years of something, Work Less, Raise More. He reviewed appeals live in real time. It was amazing. I learned a lot. But something that he said in one of those bazillions of episodes was, someone sent out a newsletter one time. I don't know if he was working with him or not, but anyways, the big header, it was spelled wrong. And that particular piece of communication had a higher response rate than average. And then we chalk it up to this. It grabbed attention. It grabbed attention long enough for the readers to see something they actually care about. And then they responded. When it comes to direct mail, scroll through my videos. I've talked to you so many times about how to craft a teaser on the outside of the envelope, how to craft a letter that grabs attention, holds attention, but just to briefly review, number 1, no teaser if you don't have a good one. Number 2, stand out in the mail, no white number 10s. On the appeal itself, put the offer in the type on the top right hand corner. The eyes always go there. Make sure it's not a wall of text that nobody can read, that there's multiple points of entry. Bold the things that are either going to be the offer or whatever's going to be of interest to the reader. Use pictures that do the exact same thing I'm talking about. Attention, they grab it, they hold it by tapping into the donor's emotions. All right, so then what about emails? Emails, this is even more important. People go into their email inbox to delete, to not read. I've said it before, bookmark it in your mind, flag it, bookmark it, stick it in your brain. People go in there to delete. So your most important job is, number 1, to get that email not deleted and get it opened. How do you do that? Well, you can't do it if the subject line sucks. Make sure that the outer envelope of your email, which would be the sender email, the subject line, and the pre-header, make sure those are crafted to grab attention, because what you'll do is grab attention, and then when they open the email, then you can deliver on value. But I would say, because we're saturated with value, that is not enough. But the reason I'm making this video today is because I want to talk to you about major donors. You need to use the same attention-grabbing strategies with major donors that you do in direct response. The difference is they need to be customized to this donor. So here's the thing with major donors. It's possible that some of your major donors have made it very clear what their communication preferences are. They say, hey, don't call me, I'm going to send you in a gift twice a year, and they leave it at that. That's not the majority, but that's some. So then the question is, how do I steward them? We'll talk about that. I will say you're going to steward them by being novel, creative, human, possibly a little odd, but something that taps into something they care about and then connecting it to your mission. But what about the donors that are just busy and they likely don't open your emails? I'm always surprised that my major donors, they don't open my emails, and I shouldn't be surprised because they are bombarded. They likely give to lots of different organizations at a higher dollar amount. So they are getting communicated with all the time. So it just makes it all the more important to make sure that you use a very human, warm, and creative approach when you go to thank them. So here are a couple examples of how you might steward a major donor. If you serve children in Africa, well, I bet you they have some art. If you're working with orphans, they're drawing, they're coloring. Have all these children color some pieces of paper, doodle, make art, and then send them to your major givers and say, hey, your gift helped make this happen. This little girl is doing so well, and look at the colors she's even using. Her life has gotten brighter and happier because of your gift. Thank you. That's an amazing way to cultivate them. They're getting something material from the place that they've helped, from the person they've helped. That's kind of the beauty of Compassion International, that strategy of matching a child with a donor. Having that direct communication between the field, the beneficiary, and the donor is powerful. What is another way you can steward? I would say if you can send a thank you video from the field with either beneficiaries behind you, or let's say that their gift helped build a house with the house behind you, you want your donor to see what they've done. So that's another great way, and it's very easy and quick to do. I'm talking to a client this week, and we were trying to come up with ways for him to cultivate his major givers, because some of his major givers had said, hey, you don't need to contact me. I'm going to send in a gift, once a year. I trust you. Do your thing. They didn't say don't contact me, but they said, I don't need you to reach out. That does not mean you don't cultivate. They need cultivation. They need to know what their gift does. They will give it a far greater level and have a greater impact if you're able to cultivate them. So I was talking with him. I'm like, hey, and by the way, he does action sports for at-risk teens. So they're doing things like skateboarding, high intensity, high impact sports. He's super cool, and what they do is amazing. And so I said, hey, what happens if a skateboard, how often do you get a broken deck on a skateboard? He's like, all the time. I was like, well, I wonder if we could take that broken deck, have the kid who was riding it write a short message on it in Sharpie saying how much this organization has helped him, and address the donor by name, and then send it to the donor in the mail. It's like a postcard, but on a deck. Worst case scenario, the major donor gets it, and he's like, what is this? But there's a note on it, and he's being thanked and cultivated, and he's not going to forget you. It's a win. Again, it's a little odd, kind of awkward. No one's done it. It serves you well. In this world of AI, cold messaging, something like that, it moves the needle. They're going to remember you, and they're going to know you thanked them in a way that no one else has. And they're going to also remember you didn't send them trinkets and waste their money. I have another organization. They help with malnourishment, and they have these packets of peanut butter peanut butter lookalike that has 3 times a better impact on improving outcomes for malnourished children in Africa than going to the hospital. And so I was like, hey, for your thank you letter at year end, we need to put those peanut butter packets, they're not peanut butter, you know what I mean. We need to put those in the thank you letters and say, hey, your gift helped provide this to starving children, thank you. So let's talk about you and your organization. I just want to get you thinking outside the box. Creativity, being a little awkward, being a little human, grabbing attention, it is your friend here. Your communications do not need to be seamlessly perfect. If you have a misspelled word, it's okay. They trust you not because you spell words correctly. They trust you because you're reporting on the impact of their gift. Quit trying to make it glossy, markety perfect. Follow up, report, thank, and that earns trust. All right, so what could you do? Oh, I have some ideas for you. Let's say you're going to a certain part of the world. Let's say a donor helped make a trip possible. You can make custom envelopes using Google Maps, and the outer envelope is literally the part of the globe that you've put on there. Send that to your major giver and circle the map where they basically have helped you reach people or animals. If you do any work on the beach, send a beach ball with a message on it via the mail. You can do that. I literally Googled what objects can you mail, and I was stunned. A child came up. that disturbed me. And then I opened it and it said that you can send children via the post to like maybe their parents or their uncles and aunts, but we don't do that anymore. And I thought, it's about time. You can send rocks. Let's say that they're helping save a wetland. Well, send them a rock from the wetland that they helped save and write a message on it. Say, donor, you helped do this. You're amazing. I mean, these are incredible ways to just show up, be unexpected. Don't give a gift, but you are investing. Here's what I want you to take home. Remember, your major donors are just like all your other donors. However, they're going to require an extra element of time and creativity to make sure that they are stewarded properly. The best way you can do this is not by sending gifts, it's by thinking outside the box, finding a way to cultivate and think that aligns with their values but pulls in their attention and is novel and is interesting. It's a win for you. Number 3, don't lean away from novel, interesting, odd, weird. You're being human, you're thinking outside the box, you're providing value, and you can't provide value if you don't grab attention. So that's what I want you to focus on. My name is Danielle Wallace. I am the owner of Grow Better. I help small to mid-sized nonprofits optimize their fundraising results. I like to take a deep dive into what it is you're doing right now, determine where you want to go, and then from there, you and I, we create a roadmap to help get you there. And anyways, if you find that you need to raise more funds, you're struggling to figure out how to do so, or you've got donors leaving left and right, horrible retention rates, I hope you're tracking them, or your donor retention rates are way too high, which tells me you're not bringing in new donors, book a discovery call with me. We'll chat. We can see if I am able to help you. So anyways, thank you for your time. I'll see you next week.